Hello, good morning, everyone. Uh, so today we would be having the expert talk session by Mr. Ram Prasad Lal sir, and I would request Piyush to welcome Ram Prasad sir, and Nidhi Saxena ma'am would be the host for this session today. So over to you, Nidhi Saxena ma'am, so you can welcome Dr. Piyush sir.
Uh, First of all, it is with great pleasure that I stand before you to introduce an individual, Sri Ram Prasad Lal sir, whose journey has been very impressive. It is with great pleasure that I stand before you to introduce an individual who has been through the corridors of public service, and his journey has been nothing short of exemplary. His name resonates with dedication, expertise, and a relentless commitment to the betterment of society. I am honored to introduce Sri Ram Prasad Lal sir, a distinguished meteorological scientist with Government of India and a public figure who has worked in ministry for a great tenure. We welcome you, sir, to GLA University. Sri Ram Prasad Lal sir's professional voyage is marked by a series of impactful roles within the fabric of Indian governance. His tenure as a consultant in the Department of Pharmaceuticals, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, saw him spreading initiatives aimed at enhancing the quality standards of pharmaceutical companies. Transitioning seamlessly, Sri Ram Prasad Lal sir assumed responsibility as an associate at the Indian Institute of Mass Communication, a bastion of journalistic excellence under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. Not confined to a singular domain, Mr. Lal's expertise extended to the Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities, where he served as a consultant. His contribution in managing grant and aid schemes and navigating the legal surrounding the disability rights demonstrated his compassion and legal acumen. His tenure within the Ministry of Rural Development showcased his versatility, yet again, he undertook the designation of responsibilities of consultant at the Department of Land Resources. Furthermore, his role as a consultant in Store and Purchase Transition Health Science and Technology Institute exemplifies his capabilities to bridge the realms of scientific research and administrative efficiencies. Mr. Lal's journey through the accolades of Indian Meteorological Department reflects his enduring dedication to the public service. His tenure spanning several years and decades saw him as a pivotal figure from scientist and director, each marked by the relentless pursuit of excellence and an unwavering commitment to the nation's meteorological infrastructure. From the grassroots level as an assistant meteorologist to the excellence of public policy information and budget planning, Sri Ram Prasad Lal sir's career trajectory embodies the spirit of service, innovation, and leadership. His unwavering dedication to public welfare, coupled with his expertise and across diverse sectors, position him as a stalwart in the roots of Indian governance. It is with distinct honor that we have Sir Shri Ram Prasad Lal as a visionary leader within us today as our expert speaker. Now I invite our Honorable Associate Director, Shri Piyush Mittal sir, to take over and introduce sir.
Sorry. Hello, I would request Dr. Piyush to welcome the guest speaker today.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, my learners, and a very warm welcome to Ram sir. Ram sir, we are very, very thank you to you that you have joined us and you are ready to share your experience with all our learners. I saw your profile that is very, very vibrant and very, the kind of a charisma in that you have because of, uh, uh, been part of a different phase of life. Like, the one of the thing of Antarctica, one that project you have done. I mean, that's quite fascinating. And I hope my learners would be very happy and would feel very good that you are here with us sharing your experience, then how they can manage their time, their work, their personal life, how they can reach to the leadership board and all this. So I again won't take much time of my learners. So I again give you a very warm welcome to GLA University Center for Distance and Online Education, and I would request you to share your expertise, your acumen, your knowledge with our learners. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And please,
Thank you, Dr.
this
Piyush,
is your turn.
for inviting me for this wonderful session. So I am sharing the screen. Okay, I hope it is visible.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, thank you. So out of all my career profiles, I love to become as an expedition leader. Why? Because at my rank as a scientist, there are about 5,000 scientists in government of India. But India so far has launched 45 expeditions, and there are only 40 expedition leaders from India. I'm one of them. So this is a proud moment for me to claim that I'm expedition leader. And today I will talk something about some leadership qualities. Then I will share with you some wonderful Antarctic experience of the early expeditions. Then I will talk something about work management. This will be the today's my presentations. Hope you will enjoy it and bear with me if it is not. It is very boring. Okay, just let me just do something. Okay, so what is the leadership? Leadership at its core, it is a very simple process of thinking well, thinking clearly about the situation and facing them. So, what is leadership? Leadership is if your action inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are accepted as a leader. You can see that there are the collage of the different leaders, but at least three we know: Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, and Mother Teresa. These people, they inspired others to work further and progress in the life. So what the leadership is? Leadership is about communicating, influencing others, mentoring others, supporting others, motivating others, and this requires ethics, vision, decision making, teamwork, contribution, and management of resources. The great leader is not necessarily one who does have great things. He is the one that gets the people do the greatest thing. This is told by Ronald Reagan. So what is the leader? Leaders should have a vision. Unless you have a vision, you cannot guide people to reach there. So another leadership quality is inspiring trust. If your people don't trust you, they will not help you. They will not work on your orders. So first thing is you have to inspire trust in your team. So what is the communication? Communication is a very important thing for a leadership, for a leader itself, because unless you communicate to the properly, they will not perform in proper way, and the scene will be that the patient will fall down from the table. So leaders should develop a strategy also. If you don't strategize the things, the things will be like this. Some people will be pulling out, some people will be standing somewhere. So you have to strategize how your work is going to be done. So leadership and it create the possibility to see the possibility and see the situation differently and adjusting your views as per requirement. So this is your leadership is about empowering the people, inspiring the people, sharing your vision, and then leading them towards the success. So basic qualities of leaders are that first is the integrity. Integrity is a combination of your belief, actions, and words. So you should be principled, you should be honest, you should treat others as they wish to be treated, be passionate about belief, preserve when the goings get tough, and alignment between action and words. So you should be a visionary, see the future where the things need to be, and attract commitment and energize people, create meaning in the lives of the followers, establish a standard of excellence, bridge the present to the future, and transcend the status quo. Communicate effectively to the point, paint the picture, and inspire others toward the future state that you perceive. You have to be a good communicator. Leaders should know that how to share as well as how to seek information, what to communicate to whom and when, how to choose the appropriate medium of communication, how to communicate with a large and small audience, and when not to communicate. You have to listen before you speak. You should communicate with your person as well with words, and you should handle confidential information or bad news. That is also a leadership quality. So another skill is required, that is developing the people who are working with you, by encouraging, helping, coaching, and mentoring the people to stretch and grow their capabilities beyond their current status. People follow you because of what you do for them. Do you exude and instill trust and respect in those around you? Do you have superior networking, interpersonal, and group communication skills? Only then you will be treated as a leader. So there are the leadership of different time. Leadership style refers to the way a leader provides direction, implements plan, and motivate the people. This involves empowering, encouraging, value addition, and visions. Your style described how you lead. There are many different leadership styles, and no one style is correct for all situations. So you have to develop your own style according to situation. So there are the different type of leadership. First is the commanding leadership. The commanding leadership says that do what I tell you. So this demands immediate compliance, drive to achieve, initiate self-control. In a crisis, kickstart and turn around with a problem implies and negative overall impact to the climate. And next is the visionary. He talks that you come with me, I will lead you to the goal. So it mobilizes people towards a vision, self-confidence, empathy, change catalyst. When changes requires a new vision or when a clear direction is needed, and most strongly positive. Another is democratic. They want what you would think, and then they analyze the situation according to the consensus reached by participants. They collaborate in the with team leadership and communication to build in our consensus and then work. And pace setting, do as I do now. So these are the leaders who say that set high standard for the performance, and they ask the people to follow, whether they are compatible or not. And most leadership, effective leadership, affiliative leadership. When the people come first, Affiliative leadership creates the harmony and builds emotional bond. It creates empathy, building relationship and communication. And to heal rift in the team or to motivate people during the stressful circumstances. And this creates a positive work, positive environment. And what in Antarctica, we need a affiliative leadership for the success. So, who are the excellent leaders? The excellent leaders are those who know to use the correct leadership style for a given situation, help individuals recognize and maximize their full potential as a team leader, team members, energize and engage people by helping them create a meaningful sense of purpose and direction in their work. So, what is the facilitative leadership? The definition is leader is a person who has a commanding influence and having the power to control everything. And facilitate is to make easy for the workers, for your fellow, to make the work easy and possible. So, what is the job of the leadership? Empower others to work together and achieve common goals through relationship, processes, and outcomes. They make it easier for people to think, understand, communicate their thoughts, work with others and focus on the group goals and outcomes, speak up when there are challenges, make and carry out decisions, allow members to develop their own leadership potential, and achieve high quality results through the group abilities. So far I talked about what are the theoretically what the leadership is. Antarctica is very close to my heart. And this is Antarctica views from the space. And I will discuss because I have spent 42 months in Antarctica in 3 expeditions. And in the last expedition, I was expedition leader. I was leading the team of 50 people. 25 of them, they wintered with me throughout in the 1 year in Antarctica, throughout the polar night, polar day. So I will discuss about something about Antarctica expedition and how these leadership qualities were used by the different leaders in a success or so. In our period, the Antarctica is not so tough. There are plenty of stations. There are here India station here, Maitri and Bharti is here. And earlier race was to reach this, the pole, South Pole. So nowadays you can reach there by now. A helicopter can fly up to here. The helicopter can fly here. Helicopter can fly here. Helicopter can fly mountain. So these are this where a helicopter can fly now. Aircraft can fly. But there are days when the things were not so easy. So I will discuss in brief the 3 leadership who created the history. One of them is Ronald Amundsen, who reached first to pole, successfully completed. Yes.
Sorry to disturb you, sir. Your slides are not moving. I don't know because learners are also telling we are also facing the same issue.
Oh,
sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, sir. It is not on screen share.
Let me start it again. Slides.
Please, sir.
Okay, now I am closing the slides. It is visual. Hello.
Yes, sir. It is. It is.
Okay. So
Thank
now
you.
here I am going to show the slides, if it was full. Okay. So these are the 3 expeditions leaders of Antarctica who created the history. Ronald Amundsen, who reached first to the South Pole. Then Robert Falcon Scott, who reached there but could not return back. And Sir Ernest Shackleton, he tried 3 times to reach the pole, but he could not achieve the targets. So what the Sir Edmund Hillary, who went to the Mount Everest, he went to the North Pole and he went to the South Pole. So he said, the for scientific discovery, give me the Scott. For speed and efficiency, travel, give me the Amundsen. And but when this disaster strikes and all hope is gone, get down on your knees and pray for Shackleton. Okay, it is moving.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the heroic stage of Antarctic exploration. This lasted from 1897 to 1922. At the start of the era, Antarctica was largely known as a whaler by whalers and sailors, frequented to more northerly of the Antarctic Iceland, but continent particular was an unknown land. In short period, many expeditions went to Antarctica to explore geographically and carried out scientific experiments and measurements. Great hardship were endured and many valuable lessons were learned in the hardest possible ways. Here I took the three best known and best preeminent leaders of this era, not so much the story of their expedition, but the success of these expeditions in achieving their goals, and of the leaders themselves, and of the legacy of the expeditions. First is the Shackleton. Amundsen provided the fundamental leadership for any leader. On December 14, 1911, Norwegian explorer Ronald Amundsen and his team made history as the first expedition to reach the South Pole. 35 days later, on January 17, 1912, British explorer Robert Falcon Scott reached the South Pole with 5 exhausted men. None survived the brutal journey back home. So this was the route of the both. Scott started from Ross Island, and Amundsen started from Bay of Whales. They followed this track, and here is the Antarctic mountain range. This area is the very treacherous. There are the glaciers. Amundsen crossed these glaciers very successfully, and Ross got stuck here, and finally he reached late. So this was the journey. They performed from year to year. So when we put this on the map of Antarctica, this is what it looks like, how they went there and they returned back. This is route of the Amundsen was very clear, and Scott's lost his man at 3 places. First person died out of scurvy, another person fall in this crevasse, and 3 died in the camp. So Norwegian Ronald Amundsen led the first successful expedition to reach South Pole. As a team of 5 men arrived there by dog sledge in 57 days after leaving their winter base camp and their ship in the port. In fact, before going to Antarctica, you have to reach there in the summer. Then and those times things were not available, so they have to stay entire winter on the coast. And then when again summers come, they start the journey. This was the base, both the expeditioners, they planned it. So after short break, and they reached in 57 days to the South Pole, and after a few hours they returned back, and return journey they completed in only 39 days. They have set out with 2 dogs and returned with 11. Rest were killed and fed to others, the men along the way, and their returning dogs and men were all in good health. His South Pole journey was very much focused. There are virtually no scientific measurement, and he carried no scientists with him. The trip was meticulously planned and executed. He proved beyond any doubt that planning and skill in using dogs and ski were extremely important in a polar environment where difficulty could mean difference between success and death. Okay, this moved. Just confirm because I am not sure. Okay. So on 17 February, Robert Scott arrived at the South Pole with a party of 4 others to find the tent with a message for him from Ronald Amundsen, who had arrived 5 weeks earlier. In fact, Amundsen was not sure that he will return back. So he left a message for Scott and he was sure that Scott will reach there. So Scott team has arrived whole in 77 days. They were behind 20 days. They took the 57 days and they take 77 days because they are around 10 days they took in the crossing the glacier, where the Amundsen took only 3 days to cross the glacier. Another thing happened that the Scott has taken the motor sledge, dogs, ponies, and skis to Antarctica. They could not use because their motor sledges could not go beyond the mountains. So they have to carry their dogs also. They were not very expert in handling dogs. So they left dogs. Their ponies could not go. So that also failed. And so they were only left with skis on which they have to carry all their loads. So manhauling was a more pure approach to the task. They were in very poor condition due to hauling up the entire load and arrived in the pole living on starvation and deprived starvation diet, and that was insufficient for their needs. And while returning, they were in very bad situation, and a combination of weather, starvation, scurvy, accidents led the death of all 5 men on return journey. Just 11 miles from the last food dump. If they could have reached there, could have saved. So this is how the planning is more crucial when you are going for a task. So another story of the Shackleton is British explorer Ernest Shackleton never reached the South Pole. He tried 3 times. In first time, he was 530 kilometers away. In second attempt, he was 97 kilometers away. So when he failed to reach to Antarctica and the Antarctica pole was already reached, he decided to cross Antarctica. And for he came for expedition with 27 members team. And he could not cross even land to Antarctica. And after 634 days of unbelievable hardship and winning cooperation and commitment of their team, and he returned with all their men. So this is what is the history of the Ernest Shackleton, how he consistently he was trying the things what he wanted to do. In 1902, Ernest Shackleton was one of the party of 3 along with Scott, who reached then the farthest south point coming 530 miles of the South Pole. In 1908, on his own expedition, he came within 97 miles of the pole. And in 1914, he set out again, the pole having been reached. His intention was to cross Antarctica. Antarctic continent from one side to another side via South Pole. The ship Endurance never even reached land in Antarctica and got struck in the ice and then crushed. Shackleton and his crew had a 19-month ordeal before they returned to safety. Yes, Deepa, any problem? Sir, is there any problem?
No, sir. As of now, no. Deepa, if you have any questions, please drop it in the chat box. Sir, please continue.
Okay. So this was the journey, what they have planned. They started from South Georgia and their plan was to come here and then go to South Pole and again return back to the place where the Scott started. And then from there, they are planned to go to Howard or New Zealand, whichever may be possible that time. But what happened? They journey, when they reach here, they caught into the pack ice, very pack ice, which the ship could not break. And here, Endurance got stuck in the ice, it could not started moving. This area of Antarctica is a very notorious. One of our expedition, our ship was struck here in this area, and we were just moving like this by ice. We were being pushed like this, but fortunately, after 15 days, we were got freed and returned back. So on 18th January 1915, the Endurance ship got stuck in the ice. They were unable to move, and then they continued on the ship until October 27, 15. The ship sank. They abandoned the ship, and after 1 month, the ship sank in the ice. Thereafter, their small floes were there. They transferred themselves on the floes, and on April 19, 2016, they launched their boat and reached Elephant Island. Elephant Island, that Shackleton left his team here, and 4 people came here on the South Georgia Island, and there they asked for the rescue, and thereafter they reached. So this was the journey which they endured, and nothing happened to any of the team. So this is again the same, a brighter display of there. Here the Endurance trapped in the ice. Here Endurance, the ship got crushed, and here the ship sank. And from here to here, they went on the ice floes, and then they launched boat, and then from the rescue trap. So what we learned from here? The clear strategy and focus. With single-minded determination, Manson set his plan and priorities on winning the race to the South Pole for glory of standing there first. But what Scott thought, Scott lacked in such focus. He assembled the best possible scientific minds, equipments available, and of unprecedented research expedition. Along with that, he also wanted to get the rewards, but he failed in both. So your clear strategic focus is must in your life. So you have to be open to the new ideas. Norwegian Amundsen became with an advantage over the British rivals, comfort with skiing, yet he continued to refine his skills and importing ideas from Eskimos and developing an integrated set of competencies, just like skiing, dog handling, clothing, carefully planned diets, peace and rest, and for polar travels. And Scott and Shackleton, however, were unsurprisingly resistant to use their novel method. They ultimately both relied on the slow, graveling technique of hauling up the luggage. So you should obtain the new ideas from your colleagues. They can give you some better idea when you are stuck. So what is another? The collective vision of a team is more important for your success. As a leader, Scott believed it was his unique responsibility to analyze situation and draw a conclusion. His decisions were closely held, sometimes revealed at the last moment, and consequently, members of the expedition has only limited understanding of rationale behind their course of action. In sharp contrast, Scott, both Amundsen and Shackleton solicited ideas, opinions from their men. Though this process, Amundsen and Shackleton gave the team members a sense of control and value, and resulting in a greater ownership and commitment. So you have to create strong bonds within your team. Despite their differences in personality, Ebullient and Shackleton and understanding Amundsen has a strongly similar approach to the leadership. Both were acutely sensitive to the emotions of their men and skill at their managing conflict. Both emphasized individual ability above rank or social status, and both participated in everyday expedition life, including the manual chores. This behavior, both practical and symbolic, reinforced the message of unity. So although Scott doomed polar parties stayed together until the last, their detachment, emphasis on hierarchy and unilateral decision-making created the problem, and he lost, damaged the morale of the team. Just little break, half minute, I will take some water. So your success and is always relative and always personal. How you measure your own success as a leader? Flaws aside, Shackleton, Amundsen, and Scott share qualities like exceptional perseverance, determination, and courage that are crucial for any leader. Shackleton created a team that worked together against the enormous odds to overcome staggering obstacles, divided their last ration equally and willingly. He led his team to safety through the extreme hardship and hazards, and still Imperial Trans-Antarctic Expedition did not achieve its goal, the crossing Antarctica. Shackleton cannot be seen as a success or as a failure or a little of both. So, as a leader, it is said that everything rises and falls on leadership. If you succeed, it is your success. If it fails, it is your responsibility to share it. So management is doing the things right and leadership is doing the right thing. This is Peter F. Drucker told. And the best leaders are those, they are good managers also, although it is rare to find the best traits of both in one person. So I am not going to describe these qualities because this will take a lot of time. So what to do? You will put more time and energy towards what you value. Enjoy and love it. How much you value your education, how important is that you succeed in college and get your degree. If your success in college is high value for your life, you will make the more time for your studies, your classes and projects. We all spend time on what we value. This is for the students online. And value is very more important. So knowing what is most valuable to you gives the direction to your life. Your energy should be oriented first toward the things that reflect the value that are most important. Examine your values to the help you make time management decision. So what is important? That is success. And how you reach the success? Make your goal specific and concrete. Don't be vague. Set both long-term goals and short-term goals. And set a deadline for your goals. Integrate your goals, school, personal, and career. And realize that goals change, but know which goals to stick to. So what is important and what is not important? This you have to decide. What are the order the do things need to be done? That is the one of the thinkings. Then once you know what your priorities are, you need to plan out a schedule for the semester, week, and days. Then acknowledge the realities of college schedules, and same is implementable to the office also. And planning may seem hard at first, but more you do, easier and more natural it gets. So now the problem is time management. We always complain, I don't have time, either for work or for study. So problem is time that you can make money, but you cannot make time. An inch of gold cannot buy an inch of time. So time awareness, to utilize the available time in optimum manner to achieve one's personal and professional goals. This is called time management. And time awareness and time tracking. Peter Drucker told that make sure you know where your time goes. Don't depend on memory, keep a time log. And set that your time is spent as per your priorities or your core responsibilities. So how set priorities? What is importance? Prioritize your task. Accomplish short-term and long-term goals. Increase productivity. Experience the success of accomplishment, fulfillment, feeling of self-control, balance, adds in memory management, management, reduces stress, and prepare you for the real world. This is what time management gives you. So what is time management? It is not just about managing your time, it is about managing your attention. Attention management is equal to ability to focus on the designated activity. Without attention management, time management is pointless. And to manage your time, you must manage yourself, your energy, your behavior, your attitude, and you. This is told by the Constant Stanley. So, what is the managerial function? Managerial function is the planning is a key managerial function, but research shows that less than 5% of management time goes on planning. So, Pareto principle is 20% of your time will produce 80% of your productivity output. So, you manage at least 20% of your time. So, Parkinson's law says the work expend to fill the time available for it. Be aware of it. You know, when the class work is given, it is done in 1 day, but it is expanded to the 30 days. If the time is given 7 days, it will complete it in 7 days. If it is given, okay, tomorrow you will bring it, it will complete tomorrow. So work is spent to fill the time available for it. So what is how to solve this problem? So procrastination is the biggest problem which kills your time. Putting off the doing of the something intentionally in a habit. Habitually, it is called procrastination. If you suspect yourself, ask yourself why I am putting this off. If there is no reason, do it. Do not confuse reason with excuse. So procrastination is a word number one time waster. Banish it from your life. There is no time like present to do any work. Do it now. So what are the managerial problem in the offices? This is a poor delegation. Do not spend time on the work that can be done to a satisfactory level by your subordinates. Delegation saves your time and develops subordinates. Delegation improves result by making fuller use of resources. And delegation implies transferring initiative and authority to the another. So what is the art of delegation? Delegation begins a deep sense of value and limits of your time. Manager often complain that they are running out of time when the subordinates are running out of work. Delegating the more routine or predictable part of one's job is only the first step. That will reduce your burden. And delegation is not abdication. Some degree of control needs to be maintained so that what work you have delegated, you have to monitor it regularly on regular basis. So let us see how time management is done. Set goals, set reasonable expectations, and remember that no one is perfect. Make a schedule, revisit and revise your plan as per the necessity. And what is the problem with the office management? Develop efficient system in the office working. Model work makes work and waste time. Strive to good order in your office. Utilize all resources fully. Handle telephone properly. Don't let it become a nuisance. and to extent possible handle a piece of paper only once. So how to proceed further as a subordinate? Time can be wasted imperceptibly if your work area is not organized well. Your desk should be clear of all papers except a specific job on hand. It invites you to think about one thing at a time. Concentration is a great time saver. Paperwork. Recommended principle is to handle each piece of paper only once. And sort papers under the for action, for information, for reading, for waste paper, and another for the bottom drawer. So time spending doing the things we would not be doing if we did not have the bosses. So why the boss is important? So keeping bosses satisfied takes time, but dealing with the dissatisfied bosses takes even more time. Failing to invest sufficient time to satisfy bosses always results in more and more boss imposed times and with lesser times for others. So what is the responsibility of boss? Boss also should realize that the time of a subordinate is also important for the organization. The task monitored by you are only part of duties of subordinates. If subordinate is hard pressed for the time, the quality of output bound to suffer. And system improvements are the essential responsibilities of bosses, particularly those with reduced time being spent on unimportant, unnecessary activities. Perfection at times becomes the counterproductive. So, role of subordinate is that realize that boss has a wider vision. He has more experience also. Devote time as per organizational objectives and your goals. Go to the boss after doing your homework and manage the problem which can be tackled at your level. So what are the other time wasters? The concentration, avoid interruptions, use of committed times, good health. Do not let your subordinate come to you with problem unless they bring their proposed solutions. And when you say I don't have time, what you really saying that I have other priorities. So planning, prepare a list of priorities for the day based on the urgency and importance. Get the timing right. Morning is the time for hard work. Interesting work, meeting and social events can take place in off-peak time. Have works break to overcome fatigue. Living 100% in the present improves your work output. And how to organize your time? Set realistic goals. There are only 24 hours in a day. Use spare time to review. Study at the same time each day, make it a habit. Divide study time into a manageable chunks and leave extra time at the end. Thank you. This was the what I wanted to talk and hope you were not bored except for a few slides which I missed to project before you. So
thank you, Ram Prasad Lal sir. And I would request learners, if you have any queries, please drop it in the chat box so that sir could take the questions very quickly. Or if you have questions, please drop it. We are waiting for. So, sir, there is a question from Vishal Sinha. He is asking how it was identified that Antarctica is in North Pole of the Earth. So I think it's more scientific related. So you are the best one to take
how
it.
it was identified? So how you identify the equator? So this is the same. This is the magnetic things. It was a presumption that if you proceed south toward from the equator, you will reach to the south pole. And you proceed northward towards the pole, it will reach the pole. And this the latitude and longitude decided by the equipments available at those times.
So following question by Vishal Sinha is, what was the vision to go there in such severe environment? And you could put it in the leadership aspect as well, which you were discussing during your presentation, like what kind of planning is important and what are the challenges we should foresee, and how is it easier to implement rather than planning? So please say.
It is both way. In fact, when I went first time to Antarctica in 1992 as a team member, it was adventure, pure adventure. In 1998, again I went to Antarctica. I was not satisfied with my office, and there was a new project to launch there. We were installing a spectrometer for measuring ozone there. That was a challenge. So these two expeditions, one was an adventure, a second was a mission to achieve something which somebody nothing has been, because those equipment there were only 4 in Antarctica, and leadership was the achievement. And Antarctica expedition, when you are selected as a leader by the government of India, it is presumed that you know everything about the expedition, and there is no one to guide. So you have to learn from your previous experiences, how your leaders work, and you plan accordingly. So, and it is not in Antarctica that everything goes as a plan. This is just like army operations, that you prepare for the bus, but when you reach the field, the things will be quite different. So I hope, in short, I give you this much, because the Antarctica is the focus. It is a geopolitical situation, and you cannot go to Antarctica unless you have a scientific plan. So every country has a honor in this, having a stations. Fortunately, we have 2 stations in Antarctica. So that is why the scientific plan was there. And you will be known, out of 25 persons in wintering in Antarctica, only there are only 5 scientists. Rest 20 are the logistic people who support the scientific program.
Okay, thank you, Ram Prasad sir. So there is last question from Siddhant. So he's asking how to be a great colleague with our teammates. What should be our attitude for a better image in the office or even in the universities, in any kind of environment?
Yes. First thing, your subordinates are, they are your team members observe from you, that whether you know the task. So first thing, you have to acquire the knowledge about the task what is given to you. Once you know the task, you can command the people. And once you know the task, you can guide the people. But without knowing the task, just giving commands, then nobody is going to follow you. In a situation like Antarctica, where you don't have any back support for 9 months, from March to the December, you are going to live with those 25 peoples, with all their psychological problem, physical problem, everything. So you have to communicate with them properly. Give respect to everyone's job. And that is the way, when you give respect to your subordinates and their job, and give value to their job, they will respect you. And that is how the respect is commanded. You cannot order to respect you, but you can earn it.
Thank you, Ram Prasad sir. I think we don't have further more questions. So over to you, Professor Nidhi Saxena, ma'am.
Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful and insightful session. I believe our learners have learned a lot from you. It has been really and indeed a very, very motivating session for the entire learners and the entire university. And it has been a great, great experience for all of us. Now, I would like to conclude this session, and I'll like to move over to Jay sir and expect our sir to give a word of final conclusion. This is there. It has been indeed a wonderful session, sir, and our learners have benefited a lot, immensely. Over to you, Jay sir.
Thank you, Professor Nidhi Saxena, ma'am. Thank you, Ram Prasad Lal sir. Like your presentation was very interesting. The way and those headings were also very eye-catching, I should say, like we could relate with our work. So thank you, and you have taught us something different, which normally we think of it, but we do not really practice in day-to-day life. And we always say time management is one of the biggest challenges. We don't have time in this world of social media. So you have clearly stated, like, we should be the one who should decide what we should prioritize and what are the goals which we want to achieve. Thank you very much, and I invite Dr. Piyush to share share a few words about the session.
Uh, Sir, thank you so much. It was quite inspiring. And the leadership lessons you share of three particular people, that was amazing. And I was also listening to you today, and I felt that it's one of the session that is actually, helping me a lot also, being a team leader of this team. My esteemed colleagues are here with me, Dr. Jayar Gubir, Professor Nidhi Saxena, uh, Professor Atul Pandey is here with me. Uh, I'm sure other people are also here with me of my team members. So I felt कि आपके ये जो lessons है ना, ये मेरे लिए भी बहुत काम की चीज़ है कि मैं भी अपनी टीम को effectively मैनेज कर पाऊंगा, इनके साथ मिलके काम कर पाऊंगा, और we will achieve great heights. तो आप सोच सकते हैं कि जब वो मेरे लिए इतने द इंस्पायरिंग है, आपकी जो आज की टॉक थी, तो वो मेरे लर्नर्स के लिए कितनी इंस्पायरिंग रही होगी. आई एम श्योर
Thank
उनको.
you very much for good.
So I am sure कि they must have been benefited a lot with your session, and we look forward to host you again and again to have such a good learning experience for my learners. Thank you very much, and I request now Professor Nidhi to thank sir and to the learners, and close this session.
Thank you,
Thank
sir, for such an insightful session. It has now I move over to Jay, sir. Over to you, sir, to conclude the session.
So thank you, Ram Prasad sir. Really, thanks a lot for teaching us something new. And thank you, Piyush sir. Thank you, Professor Nidhi Saxena ma'am and Professor Shreya ma'am, and all others who are part of this session, and all the tech team who are playing the back end support. And thank you all the learners for joining on time and being patient and staying throughout the session. Hope you have all learned new things, and this would also give you something to implement from today onwards, so you have a different perspective in your life. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Thank you all for listening me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks a lot,
Amazing.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Everybody, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
I'm now logging out. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.